SQL Interview Question and Answer. Question number 23. What are the frequently used aggregate functions in SQL? This question is asking about list of aggregate functions which are used in SQL. We are mainly talking here Oracle SQL. Aggregate functions in Oracle SQL are those functions that perform calculation on a set of values and return a single value. These functions are typically used with a group by clause to group rows that share a common value and perform calculation on each group. Without group by clause, it implies to entire data set. That means entire column. Here is a list of commonly used aggregate functions. First one is sum function. Sum function is used to add up the values in a group or from an entire column. I have provided here two examples. First example is using group by clause, and second one is without using group by clause. When we use first group by clause, at that time it will sum salary by grouping variable. In this example, it is summing salary by department ID. But in second example, without group by clause, it will sum entire column salary. I will run those set of the code in our Oracle developer window and observe the result. Second function is min function. Min function is used to get the minimum value from a group or from an entire column. Pattern is similar. First code is with group by clause. Second code is without group by clause. Similarly, third function is max function. To get the maximum value from the group or from the entire column, we use max function. Here's the example. First one is by using group by clause. Second one is without using group by clause. Fourth function is average function. To obtain the average value from a group or from an entire column, we use average function. We have example. Fifth one is count function. To get group-wise count or total record count from an entire column, we use count function. We have example here. First one is using group by clause. Second one is without using group by clause. Sixth one is list as function. That means to aggregate string values by concatenating them into a single string or single row with a specified delimiter, we use list egg function. That means list aggregated function. We have example here. In this example, we use a list egg. Suppose I am going to get the list of last name separating by comma, and I am going to take those values by department ID first. That means using group by clause. And second one is without using group by clause. I will run those code in our Oracle developer window and observe the result. Seventh one is median. That means to get the middle or median value from the group or from the entire column, we use median function. Eighth one is standard deviation. To get the standard deviation from a group or from an entire column, we use standard deviation function. We have two examples. First one represents group by clause, second one without group by clause. Ninth one is here variance. To get the variance from a group or from an entire column, we use variance function. We have a two example here. In this way, I have mentioned here two examples. First one is by using group by clause and second one is without using group by clause. I will run those code in our Oracle developer window and observe the result. What are the differences? This is Oracle developer window where I am going to run those examples which I used before. As the example of aggregate function. First function is sum function. I have applied here two examples. First example, it has used group by clause. Second example, without group by clause. Let me run these two examples and observe the result. Mainly sum function is used to add up or to get the sum of values in a group or from an entire column. Let me run these two code and observe the result. First example, first result that indicates here sum of the salary by department, that means department ID. Second result indicates that here sum of the total salary of the whole column, that means sum of the total salary of entire company. Let me go through second function. Second function is min function that calculates the minimum value of from a group or from an entire column. Similarly, it has two examples. First one is group by, second one is without group by. Let me run this code and observe the result. First result indicates that minimum value of each department, and second result indicates that minimum value of entire column. This is the 2100, 2100 is the minimum value of entire column, and here this is the minimum value of each department. Similarly, third function is max function that gives the calculate the maximum value from a group or from an entire column. It has two examples. Let me run this code and observe the result. First result that indicates maximum value group wise, that means the department wise maximum value, and second result indicates that maximum value of entire column. Here 24,000 is maximum value of entire column. Fourth function is average function. That means the average function is used to get the average value from a group or from an entire column. It has two examples. One is group by clause, it has used, and second one is without group by clause. Let me run these two examples. We have two results here. First result that indicates average value of each department. That means average salary of each department. Then second result that indicates average value of total entire company. That means the entire column. Next function is count function, where count function is used to get the group wise count or total count from the entire column. Let me run two examples here and observe the result. First result that indicates count by department, and second example or second result that indicates total count of entire column. Total count is 107, and here it indicates group wise count. Next function is list egg function, that means the list of aggregated function. It is used to aggregate the string value by concatenating them into a single string with a specific delimiter. In this example, I have used delimiter is comma. First example, it has used group by clause. Second example, without group by clause. Let me run this code and observe the result. This is the first example. This is the result of first example where department ID is 10. There is only one last name. For department ID 20, it has two last names. 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 last name. In this way, it calculates or it concatenates The last name we separated by comma, and that represents one single line. That means a good department wise. But in case of second, without department, without group by clause, this is the result. That gives the entire last name in one single row. Next function is median function. Median function is we use to calculate the middle value or median value from a group or from an entire column. We have two examples again here. One is it has used group by clause, other one is without group by clause. Let me run this code and observe the result. This is the first result that indicates median value of each group or each department, and next one that indicates median value of entire column. Next function is standard deviation. Standard deviation is used to get the standard deviation value from a group or from an entire column. We have two examples here. Let me run these two examples and observe the result. First result that indicates here standard deviation by group or department wise. Second result that indicates standard deviation of entire column. Next function is variance. Variance function is used to get the variance from a group or from an entire column. We have two examples. First example, it has used group by clause. Second, without group by clause. Let me run this two code and observe the result. Your first result that indicates here variance by department wise. Second one is variance of entire column. In this way, we can use different aggregated function in SQL. That means in case of SQL, aggregate function can be used with group by clause. If we use without group by clause, it will apply to the entire column or entire value. That's all about question number 23. Thank you.